Welcome, everybody. I want to introduce you to my friend, Kerry Hucul. She is a former boat captain and former chef, and I thought she would be the perfect one to give us some insight into what it's like to try to plan for a trip with all the food and all the picky people on a charter boat. So this boat was the Promenade. It's how Kerry and I met, and we'll just dive right into it. So Kerry, tell me, first of all, tell me about H2O Yachts.
H2O Yachts is kind of what I've done when I became too old to chase after charter guests, picking up all their fins on the boat all the time. When those stairs, and you look at them, you go, God, I'm going to have to climb those how many times today? So what we do is I sell luxury yacht charters for other people on other boats. Plus, I also manage a few yachts as well that do yacht charters themselves.
And your insight, I mean, you did this for years on your own.
Since
So
1997.
Yeah, so your insights into planning these charters has to come in handy for your guests because, I'm sure you get people who have never been on a charter boat before, and you've done it over and over. So what are you telling them when they're getting ready to book?
It does, especially in the areas I know well, like the Virgin Islands, Caribbean, Bahamas, those areas, it's really beneficial. I try and get people not to plan their itinerary down to the 9th degree. A lot of people, first of all, I want to know exactly where I'm going. And from being on the boat, it's like every 3 hours, this is what we're doing. Depends what the weather's doing, how much we like a place. So that's one of the biggest things, and trying to get them to pack, not too much.
Pack lightly, yes.
Pack very lightly. Don't bring 7 pairs of shoes, like some. So those kind of things are really helpful.
Well, what can they expect food-wise when they get there?
Depends on the level of boat. But having said that, every yacht is going to serve you 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They try and do it so the majority of the group are eating the same dish. They accommodate for vegetarians or people who don't eat steak. They'll put on different types of protein, or people who don't eat seafood. But generally, because they're small galleys, everybody should be eating pretty much the same thing. I used to do a lot of family style because I found that very easy. Whereas a lot of times now there's a lot of plated gourmet dishes. These chefs are on the yachts are pretty impressive nowadays. So 3 meals. Everybody's favorite time is cocktail hour with nibblies, of course, and then dessert. 7 days a week, and you give in a preference sheet beforehand, and then the chef puts together a sample menu for you for the week.
Nice. I did learn to love the dinner bell. So, there was always something good waiting. What was the favorite? What was everybody's favorite that you used to make?
Everybody's favorite was, I did a lobster, shrimp, and maybe there was scallop stir fry with vegetables over rice. That was probably the favorite. The second favorite would have been if we caught fresh fish, throwing it on the barbecue. Third favorite would be a toss-up in between steaks on the barbecue or Caribbean back ribs on the barbecue.
And what's a Caribbean back rib?
Just baby back ribs that have been for like 40 minutes and then basted with a special Caribbean sauce with rum or whiskey,
of course,
and then put on the barbecue.
Speaking of rum, happy hour was also a favorite, and of course we loved the bushwhackers.
It's funny, yes, still my favorite.
Mine too. I never have learned to make one very well. I know I came home with the recipe one time, but now this makes me want to get it out and try it again. Were most people into rum drinks?
A lot are into rum drinks, yes. Painkiller, of course, being the most famous. Rum, orange juice, pineapple juice, and nutmeg on top. Although I like that blended with ice, not just poured over ice. Yes, but I'm not a big rum fan, so
Yeah.
that wasn't my favorite. Too sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's my problem with some of them is they're just too darn sweet.
Yeah,
But
and the bushwhackers, a lot of places do it with rum, but I switched it out and do it with vodka because I don't like rum.
well, yours were perfect.
I
So
know.
let's see. What's the biggest food adventure you've ever had? Where all have you eaten fantastic food?
I have a palate of a 3-year-old, quite truthfully, except for when I'm at, I will say where I am the most adventurous, and I've learned to do this over the years. When I first started going as a broker to yacht shows, you get invited to a lot of dinners and lunches. And first I'd be like, oh, I don't eat this and whatever else, and I'd be scared if somebody was going to give me, like, even lamb is foreign to me, you know. So then after a while, I was just like, Carrie, sit down and just eat what they give you. And I have truly found that I have had some amazing dishes. And I don't want to know what they were sometimes. But even things as simple as I would always say, I don't eat beets until these chefs started making me beet salads. And I'm like, this is wonderful.
Yeah. Oh,
Exotic, I Thailand, those kind of places. I'm still pretty basic.
yeah. All right. What's your favorite meal that somebody's made for you? Something you didn't have to cook?
Does dessert count? I remember I had a fellow chef
Shoot, yeah.
made me a pumpkin cheesecake, and I never eat pumpkin. It was one of the things I said I hated. I loved it. I still remember to this day. What else? Um, I can't answer that off the top of my head.
Well, it's good that you've tried so many different things and that you get to run around the yacht shows and take advantage of being on location, find out what they're doing there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
always a new adventure there. What do you wish people knew about going on a boat charter?
Don't try and plan every minute.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
such good
get
advice.
yourself organized before you come. Pack lightly. Throw away your cares when you get on the boat and go with the flow. That's what I really think people should do.
Yeah. And one thing I was wondering though, and from behind the scenes, how hard is it to provision for a charter trip? Because I know you were always coming back to port and doing a quick turnaround and off you went again. So how hard is it to kind of make that shift to the next charter, get everything on the boat that you need?
It's funny, my husband and I, Baza, who we're talking about this last week because we were owner operators. So we were always trying to do things as economically as possible. So we were the boat that would sail from the British Virgin Islands to Puerto Rico to cost you less, or St. Thomas to the big box stores. And we would load up as much as we could for a few months. We were only going to save a couple $1,000s, but as owner operators, when you want to pay off a boat, that was part of the deal. And then the crew would all be on vacation. So here would my husband and I be in an anchorage that was waving up and down, and we're in a tender trying to load all this stuff onto a boat all the time. So we would make 3 or 4 trips a year and get all the hard goods that we could at a cheaper price. It was actually very easy in the British Virgin Islands because you could order online or send them an email list, and they would deliver it to the boat. Never everything you ordered, then you still have to go around and get the last items, but you didn't have to go around and get everything. It was pretty easy once when you had back-to-back charters, because if something was left from last week, you had it carrying forward. And you also tend to, yes, you do customized menus, but you tend to do the same dishes over and over again. So you're not buying everything every week. So,
Yeah, good deal. Is there anything we haven't talked about that you want to bring up?
food. There's some great local food in the Caribbean. I just know that's where I'm familiar with. There's jerk chicken, conch fritters, lobster on the barbecue on some of the beaches. Just magical moments that that you can't replace. It's not the same doing in Chicago at Ruth Chris's or whatever. It's just not the same. So we because the charter yachts are high value items, we get stuff from all over the world. You'd think this tiny little island in the Caribbean would be very limited in supplies, but it's not. You get gourmet stuff from Europe, gourmet stuff from all over the place that is in the stores. So it's really a difference. And also some of the beverages like we don't commonly get in North America, like Ting ginger beer, those kind of things. They're just special. Try and step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Yes. Great.
Tell the chefs what you absolutely are allergic to and what you hate. Other than that, let them run with it.
Love it.
I love your hat and your boat in the background.
I do. Yes.
You've got one of the originals that everybody wants. I have people still emailing me wanting to know if I can find them those hats.
I have two, and I won't wear them out of the house because I'm afraid something's going to happen to them.
That's cute.
So I was like, I can wear my hat today.
Yes.
Well, tell me, is there a favorite recipe or a recipe that you want to share with everybody?
Well, my favorite recipe in the world, because that would be conch fritters. But it's hard for people in North America to get recipes, but I can definitely share that one. And bushwhackers is my other favorite, which is a drink. I'm not sure that goes in a...
It counts. It absolutely counts. I guarantee you lots of people watching are going to want to make a bushwhacker.
Well, bushwhacker, a Kerry and Elaine style.
Yes.
Very easy. It's 1 part vodka to 1 part Bailey's to half part Kahlua to a 1/4 part Angelic Amaretto and Frangelico. And then some Hershey syrup. Put it in a blender and stir it up with lots of ice till it's nicely crushed, and you will be happy. Just remember that they can be deadly because they are all alcohol and ice. It's like chocolate milkshakes.
And they're wonderful.
Yeah, as far as recipes, conch fritters are my known. They're my known. So what I do is I pulverize conch meat, and you can get it frozen in the States in a food processor. So it's really fine. And then I don't do measurements on anything. I put in some lemon juice, some garlic, some Tabasco, salt, pepper, seasoning salt. I chop up vegetables really fine, whatever I have, carrots, mushrooms, green peppers, green onions, really fine. And put in some dill weed. I like dill weed in there. And then you put in enough flour so it's really quite pasty balls, just like a corn fritter or something, same consistency. And then you plop it in deep frying oil until it is crispy brown and floats to the surface. And you make a mix. My favorite mixture, some people will laugh at this, but my favorite mixture for the topping is a mixture of ketchup, mayonnaise, horseradish, and salt and pepper blended up. That's my favorite seasoning.
Sounds yummy. Takes me back.
I know. We both want to go sailing now.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thanks so much for being on here. We just want to remind everybody that at the Cookbook Creative, you can make your very own cookbook, and we will keep sharing the stories the recipes, the people, and the places behind the food. See you next time.